Yeah, I mean it's devastating for the boy because he was playing so well. I think he was in his best period for the club in terms of consistency. He was without Gregory, we needed somebody to really step up, and I thought he was really taking ownership in that midfield. I think when you talk about courage and bravery to play 85 minutes with a snapped lateral ligament, I think shows the courage of that boy. We will miss him. We will miss him. But I always think with injuries, as much as you can dwell on injuries and feel sorry for yourself, you've got to look at the opportunities for everybody else now that gets the opportunity to play. Victor Joe has waited so patiently. Dixon Arroyo's got a big opportunity now. David Ruiz has got a massive opportunity in front of him. Taylor, Pizarro, Harvey, they've all got opportunities now to play, to compete for a place in midfield. And I think as much as it's disappointing, I always think you've got to look on the positives. We want the boy to have good surgery on Friday. We pray that it's a simple surgery, straightforward surgery, like we did for Gregory, and we pray that he comes back to the level that we've seen over the last 3 to 4 months. Well, I think if you think about the depth of the midfield positions, I think when you talk about out and out midfield players, we've got Dixon, we've got Victor, we've got David Ruiz, we've got Ben Ha. Those are our 4 out and out midfield players, and then within that we'll have to find some flexibility and adaptability from other players. Robert Taylor's not played much football recently, but he's played centre midfield for us in the past in a midfield 3. So has Rodolfo, and we're going to have to utilise their flexibility. Against Miami FC last week, he came on. He had a tightness in his hamstring after the game. He trained Thursday, Friday, no problem, and on Saturday, during the warm-up, he felt as if he couldn't probably go on for longer than 20 minutes. So we decided to not risk him in that respect. So he's a majored out for the weekend. We hope to have him. It's one of them with Rodolfo. It's day to day really, so we see how he is tomorrow. See the tightness as he's and ups. He's not, I'd say, as an explosive player. Like a Joseph, where you're thinking about the explosiveness. So he's someone that could probably play through it. But we're entering a game of 7 to 8 games in the space of a month where we can't afford any muscle type injuries. So it's going to be a late call on Rodolfo. Yeah, well, I mean, he's frustrated, but I think with what we got last week is we decided to go with, obviously Leo at the moment is our number 1 striker, and he was outstanding on Saturday. Schneider for the Miami FC game, I think on the turf was the correct decision. It was his type of game. I thought he was really good. Joseph came on and got minutes in that game, and then on Saturday when we took Leo off, basically we brought Schneider on for his physicality because he was going to be a height on set plays, and I do feel as if the next 7 to 8 games is going to be Joseph's time. Whether that's Saturday or the game after, it's something that we'll decide internally. But I think he's committing to everything that we want him to do. We feel as if he's getting fitter and stronger and sharper every single day, and he's really buying into the fact at this moment in time that his time might not be now, but it will be coming. We've spoke to him at length about his time, and I think now more than ever, you think about the investment in the squad, is that we need our centre forwards now more than we've ever needed. So the next 8 games, I think there'll be major opportunities for Joseph Martinez. Look, I think it has to. But again, you have to take the emotions away from it. But I think sometimes scripts are written, and you do feel on Saturday a script could be written for Joseph against his former team, the team that he loved, to impact the game, whether off the bench or from starting. So it's definitely something that's on my mind.
Let's go with 2 strikers.
Well, yeah, I think that's a consideration. But I always say to players, is that really I don't pick the team, they pick the team. You think about a couple of young players in a couple of weeks ago frustrated about their opportunities, and I said, well, you know what, when you're playing for the MLS2 or you're in training, your attitude, your behaviours, your performance make me pick you. So that's what I said to the group yesterday is that we've got 8 games now in the space of I think 28 days, hopefully, where their performances and behaviours will dictate whether they play or not. And all I have to do is put the 11 out there on the field. The one guarantee I will say is that in the next 8 games we will play with 2 strikers. We have to. That's where you look at the Mota's quality in possession, in terms of his production, means that we have to get the same amount of quality back in the team, and our quality is with our strikers. So I thought it was a big performance from Leo on Saturday against Columbus. We want to get some consistency in what we're doing. Every time we seem to have consistencies, we seem to have a setback with Gregory and now Mota. So we might just have to adapt the way that we want to play and our mentality. But our attitudes are that we want to compete, and 5 out of the next 6 games are at home. So we see this as a vital period to decide where we're going to be in the season at the end.
You mentioned all of April.
Yeah, well, I absolutely love it. Honestly, I do. The 3 games last week was for me perfect. I think the amount of games, what that gives you is it gives you no time to dwell, no time to react. You're just on a conveyor belt of games, where we've got 20, 24 players that all want to play, that will all get minutes. There's no time to mope around, to play the victim, to over-celebrate. And the games is what we want. The games, when we looked at this programme at the start of the season, we knew that May was going to be a critical month for us. We prepared the team to play 7 or 8 games. They are fit. There's now, I think today will probably be our last training session before we get into the game mode. And the boys are ready. We just need to make sure that everyone stays fit, confident. We pick up the results at home. We play with the confidence and spirit, more important, that we did against Columbus and FC Miami. And we keep building points and building momentum. This league, because the games are so close together now, you can make massive impacts in a week. You can go from 0 points to 9 points within a week, and that will take you up to the top 5, 6, 4, whatever it is, and because that's where we want to be.
Someone or did someone on Saturday?
Well, I learned very quickly. I think it was like 1999 that you just focus on the next game. I think we went from January to May with 3 games a week. It was the most incredible schedule, and I think if you look beyond the next game, I think you can get yourself in real trouble. So our focus is Atlanta, picking the best team to beat Atlanta. Charleston then will look after itself, and it'll figure itself out. And I think the one thing I said to the players yesterday when I sat them all down, I think we've got 21 players. I said, look guys, this is it. This is us. There's no trades, there's no transfer windows, there's no bringing people in. We're all in it together now, and every single one of you will play in the next 8 games. You will feature, whether on the bench or off the bench, and I haven't got time for anyone that's going to be sulking about not playing against Atlanta, because if you don't play against Atlanta, you will probably play against Charleston. And I think that for me is the most exciting thing for this squad, is that they now can come together more than they've ever done. I think I'd say at the start of the season it was probably on a lot of players. Every time we were signing or talking to a player, it was always, that question was always asked. I think because of the run that we've got at this moment in time, we haven't got time to even think about what's going to happen in July. We need to get through the next 8, 9, 10 games. We need to get through to July. There's people in the club that are working tirelessly all the time with what are we going to do in July. We've got to leave that to them. We've got to focus on the next period of games, because if we start looking too far ahead, we'll end up in a really poor position. And it's exciting, the speculation is exciting, it's interesting, but that's not for us. We focus on the next game.